After getting all these awards, I want to share with you guys my journey and my mindset. I'm 34 years old and I was born and raised in Mexico. When I came here, it was a little bit harder just because no hablaba inglés. And it was just hard on the side of I didn't know how to get out there. Same thing happened with this. Moving from Mexico to Utah, it was a little bit harder just because in Utah, at that time, there was a lot of people that did not speak Spanish, so it was a little bit harder for me. After we moved to Oxnard with my family, my parents, they brought us here, and I've been here in Oxnard for the past 22 years. The best place or the best thing that ever happened to me. So one of the things that I could share with you guys, it's back in 2008, I finished high school and I decided that I wanted to do beauty school, but I wanted to take time out. One of the things that I was focusing more, it was on check. I wanted to have something secure with money because once you get out of school, that's pretty much what they're teaching you to do. Después, estaba trabajando en una clínica y en esa clínica no me dejaban tener uñas. El cabello siempre tenía que estar recogido, especialmente el doctor era súper estricto. So, con esto, I was just more like, okay, so what do I want to do in reality? So one day the doctor said he had an emergency with one of the patients, so he gave us different things to do, and when we were done, he said, you guys will be dismissed. So I was depending on, my job. I went to Luros in Ventura, and pretty much that's how everything started. I remember going to school, and I told the lady that I wanted to enroll in school. So she was like, "All right, we have a class that starts on Tuesday," and that's how it started. So I called my parents, told them that I wanted to do beauty school, and they said they would help me with everything, but I had to do college full time. So I had to do beauty school and I had to do cosmetology at the same time. At that moment, I did not understand what was their whole purpose till after. So once I was done with beauty school, I was caught up with a bunch of loans. You guys know how it is here in the United States. And then I started working for a company because I wanted to get money. At that point, my parents were supporting me, so I was so used to having so much little money that I was just like, okay, I could depend on one check and then the three are going to pay off my loans. So that's how it started. So I was doing little jobs at my parents' garage. So I started cutting hair for $5. I started doing hair colorings for $45. And it was just for me to get the experience. So then little by little, the words started getting out. And then I started getting more people and more people and more people started coming. Till one day I decided to quit my job. So I quitted my job, but then I still, I was working in another company. And it was just a part-time. So I used to work from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then after that, I would do hair, eyelashes, makeup, and how I used to do different things. After that happened, pretty much, I decided that I wanted to do it more for a living. But then I was so scared of letting go everything. And I remember one day, I just heard the door and then I opened and it was the city. So I was like, okay. And then they came in. They told me that if I was doing services. So I was like, yes. So they said I was not allowed unless I had a permit and, all these requirements that they ask for. So that's pretty much how everything started. At that point, I was just like, ¿qué voy a hacer? You know, because sometimes you're like so comfortable with one thing that you have to change from one thing to the other. So I told my parents, we have to do something. And I remember we went to see a salon where my salon used to be, Ventura Road and Gonzales. And I remember telling my mom, no me gusta más, está bien feo y la área está fea. And then she told me, ¿sabes qué? Todo se empieza de abajo y se crece hacia arriba, pero nunca empiezas de arriba y terminas abajo, porque la meta nunca va a ser llegar, sino la meta siempre va a ser mantenerte. Entonces, I was just like, okay, so eso me hizo cambiar completamente mi mentalidad y empezar desde cero. I remember when I started, we purchased the place within 15 days. One of the things that I could tell you guys from my experience, it's that if you guys are planning to do something, start from scratch. And then don't purchase it from somebody else unless it's really established and it's ready to go. Because when I purchased the salon, I still had to invest money to fix it up. We had to paint, change chairs, because nothing was working at that place. So it was a lot of investment. After that, I remember I had recently gotten married, and my ex-husband was not supportive whatsoever. After that, I remember we were just together for a few months, and then we decided to separate. After we separated, I found out I was pregnant of my beautiful daughter, which she inspired me to be better every single day. So it was a little bit harder just because I was in business only for 6 months and I was pregnant and I had to do all these things. So I had to learn the hard way in the aspect that I didn't know that I did not have disability. I did not have all these things that I did. So my mindset had to change, and I was like, how could I market all this for people to know who I am and do different things? So one of the things was talking in the camera, which when I started, it wasn't easy whatsoever. I used to use a lot of photos, befores and afters, post a lot of social media, do a lot of giveaways. That helped me a lot because people were like more like into the giveaways. Also, I had days where I used to do prices that I will reduce the prices just to help people that are more on a budget. So then that started driving a lot of traffic. When I started, my goal was to make $100 a day. I was like, si hago $100 al día, I can make 3,100 y se paga la renta del lugar y pagaba todo. Pero como fui mirando la diferencia, everything changed. I was like, okay, so then if I could make this, I could make way more. So then my mindset changed completely. I started hiring people. And it was just, it changed completely. I had my salon for 7 years. It did amazing, and I thank everybody that, supported me since the beginning. And it's just a journey that you have to learn how to walk alone. One of the other things that you do have to learn is how either you have a strong mentality and nothing, whatever happens, whatever people tell you, whatever you're going through, whatever the situation might be, you always have to have a smile and keep on walking, and never let your feelings get to you, because once feelings get to you, it's done. So it's more like you think with your head, but not with the feelings, and then you don't take nothing home, or you don't take nothing personally, just because at the end of the day, it will hurt you. And then I just started getting a lot of people, and then 2018 came, and then that came. So I was just super happy in the aspect of, I was not expecting it. And then in 2019, I was able to do Miss Mexico. She won second place. She was running for Miss Global International they do that before going to Miss Universe. So I had a really awesome experience there. And then from there, everything started happening. But in 2020, you guys know, COVID happened. Once COVID happened, I remember the time I used the time for me to, I was doing online classes and then I was doing like different trainings just for me to keep busy, updated with everything that was going on, because I knew that wasn't, because I knew that was not gonna stay forever. It was something more temporary. And then I wanted to be ready for when everything happened. I remember talking to a lot of people that I wanted to move in downtown just because downtown has a lot of traffic. And one day I was just driving around and then I saw this place. So I moved in 2020. I remember I sold my old salon to my ex-employees. They knew how much money I was making. I showed them the books, everything how it was. And then I was like, you guys could keep it as it is. I did not bring nothing. And I started again from zero. And I remember when I came in, I opened the store. So Luxury Beauty Pro, that was the main thing that I wanted to do in here. And I remember investing close to $100,000 in merchandise, which it looked empty. And I remember like, what's going on? My mom told me, ¿con eso vas a abrir? And I was like, sí, con eso voy a abrir. I was like, Mom, there's a lot of money invested in here. We had to change a lot of things and it was just like crazy. But at the end of the day, I never see it as, oh, you know, like that's how we're gonna start, because I always remember what my mom said one day. Se empieza desde abajo y se crece hacia arriba. And it's just more like maintaining, because I don't like starting something and just, you know, quedarme a medias. It's either voy con todo o voy sin nada. So una de las cosas que siempre me gusta recordar es porque puedo vine, pero porque puedo voy por más.